let's start off with the bad and go into some good.
You want to get the bad stuff out of the way.
You do the bad, and then you follow up. You follow up the medicine with a spoonful of like sugar, don't you? That's how they say.
That is what they say.
Mappa,
Yes.
Mappa,
Naughty.
our senpai, our big, powerful. We love you for all the things you're doing. They've been naughty. They've been misbehaving.
Yeah. Um. There, there's been loads of reports about the way Mappa have been treating staff lately, especially around some of the recent episodes of JJK season 2. Um, I'm just going to flicker through some of these. It's crazy, just because some of the animators have been, tweeting and making it known
massive
that,
tweet threads have existed, and it's mental. It's really very disheartening when we as a community have been really enjoying what they've been churning out.
Mhm.
But now we're kind of like learning the cost of that.
Yeah, yeah. These work conditions sound horrendous at the moment. There was talks of staff walking out. There was even some tweets. I don't know if I've got it here. Yeah, so some animators have said that episode 17 of season 2, which is the Sukuna versus Maharaja fight, was 30% completed. Apparently 30% completed has been a term thrown around and some people have misread it. It's just that some aspects weren't completed as such as some of the animators wanted.
Kind of like when you have a regularly serialized manga or something, and it comes out, and you can see that they weren't able to completely polish the chapter. There'll be like some frames which are like very simple and
Yeah,
stuff.
I've got an example here to show. If you're listening to this, check out the YouTube version of this episode. So there is a section or a couple of frames that was shown. So, for example, maybe if I zoom in a little bit, that might help. So there's in the episode, Sukuna does a split kick, which kind of felt like out of nowhere. But on Twitter, you could see the animator post the full version, and it was a sort of combination of moves that followed up by the split kick. So it was like the last move in a set of a combo. So things like that, where that whole combo sequence is missed out, and sometimes it feels slightly jarring in the episode where suddenly certain things happen. Like there's a part where there's a whole plane that falls out of the sky in the episode. It adds to the drama of the fight.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. And the episode itself is, a 9.9 on IMDb. So it is a fantastic episode.
Yeah, but it's disheartening though, isn't it? It's when we're hearing about these like awful working conditions. I mean, through that thread of the first person in the screenshots, I read that apparently JJK Zero, the movie, was completed in like 4 months.
Yes.
And you look at how incredible the animation is, and honestly, credit to the animators, the credit to people who are working on it. But like 4 months to get something of that quality out, you can't imagine that was done without cost. There's also talk about how like half of the episodes are like they're literally like working down to the wire. They're like finishing the episodes like hours before they're due to actually air.
Yeah.
It's not good. Like we often hear a lot about burnout and like grind in like the games industry, like video games industry. How that's all being handled, and burnout is like the biggest factor in like a lot of people just quitting industries. You didn't, I didn't expect to see it from Mappa.
Yeah.
But I think I said this in one of our group chats. I think that while Mappa has been churning out lots of really, really good stuff, I think that they got popular very, very quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they've said yes too much.
Yeah.
They've continued to take, like, the execs have continued to say, yes, we can take on projects, and they're not really thinking about whether or not they should take those products. They're just like, this is just going to continue to skyrocket us in popularity. Because like, if I were to think of anything that I wanted an anime made of, I would immediately think I would want Mappa to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
And stuff. And so that's worked in their favor. And the fact that they're still able to churn it out in this quality, despite that, is just a testament to how talented the app staff are. But still, it's not okay. Not okay at all.
I completely agree with you. It's like you said, they've managed to have some of the most talented animators work at that studio. The common thread I've seen throughout this is that the schedule is just not there. And it's just not on to, like you say, push people to these like deadlines and, crunching in the hours in what's nearly impossible. JJK Zero in, what was it, 4 to 8 months?
Yeah.
That's mad. When normally a feature length of that caliber would have years, yeah. So it's just crazy. And like you said, I've seen some stories, some articles and things to kind of say, they are switching between projects. I think with that JJK Zero story, they were working on that and Chainsaw Man. So there was a lot of kind of like jumping between. I think the particular episode is the one where he fights the swords demon. I can't think of the name. But
you mean the one we saw at MCM Comic Con?
Yes, that one. But yeah, I believe that there was so much to do there, and then of course go straight into the JJK movie. But yeah, it just. My heart goes out to the animators, of course, because they're the ones who bring the magic alive. And there's loads of breakdown videos on TikTok, on YouTube, on, the process and things. Some of these animators are on Twitter. It's great to see some of their processes. I know a lot of people are following Vincent Chanzard, who worked a lot on that Sukuna fight. But yeah, I really hope that a change will happen at Mappa, and hopefully for other studios as well, because it's not just exclusive to Mappa, but Mappa seems to be
Mappa's in the spotlight, so there, of course. But this is going on in probably a lot of studios, in a lot of industries. It's like it's not uncommon.
Yeah, it's not uncommon, but like you said, they're in the spotlight because they've taken on so many, IPs that everyone loves. But it seems like these conditions are just unbearable. They're untenable. Yeah,
unsustainable. They're gonna, if they want to continue to churn out work of this quality, they're gonna need to start thinking more about the health of their staff, because they're the one at the end of the day. Like, I know that Mappa's execs have got their bottom line that they want to hit, but like they can't do that without the team that they've got. I mean, you could argue, we could just get new people in, but why would you want to get new people in when you've already got these exceptionally talented artists?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's such a weird event to have such an incredible episode to be highly rated, but then off the back of that have all these unhappy people that worked on it. It's just kind of do you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's just I feel like it's kind of like I really want to celebrate a great JJK episode, but at the same time,
it mars it. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can't ignore the blood, sweat, and tears that really went into this. So yeah, it's crazy. On a lighter note, this Crunchyroll subbing.
Oh yeah, what was it like? Demonic Kitchen or something? No, Malevolent Kitchen. Yeah,
yeah. So malevolent Kitchen. Yeah, we've got all the memes on that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Malevolent Kitchen.
Anything more you want to add to the Mappa story there?
I mean, ultimately, we as fans are kind of stuck in situations like this, because the first thought of a lot of people will be, well, I'm going to veto the show. I'm just not going to watch the show because of how they're treating their staff.
Mm-hmm.
But by not watching the show and reducing the numbers, the rating of the show, that also that doesn't really affect the execs. It only hurts the people who were working on the episodes. Yeah. Because then they have to have like layoffs and stuff like that because they're not making as much money, and the execs are not going to take a cut. No. They're not going to. So
no. Also,
it's a difficult situation to be in. It's like emotional blackmail.
Yeah, because for the fans of the manga, they want to see this animated, but the only way that these studios really take notice is DVD sales, which I know is not hugely popular in the West anymore, but in Japan, it's still the bread and butter of the industry. So, that's why we haven't really had a Chainsaw Man season 2 just yet, because the Blu-ray sales weren't as desirable as they were expecting. So, yeah. There we go. I think that's the first time we've ever done some like serious topics.
I mean, usually there isn't anything too serious going on.
Yeah.
Like the serious stuff is usually going on in the community, not in the actual studios.
Yeah.
Like I'm all for like going off on a rant about how some people do this or some people do that in the community, but like it's never usually directed at the studios themselves. So and to be honest, guys, I'm all for eating the rich. Like I love to take a bite out of these execs, absolutely would, but I don't think we often have cause for discussing it naturally anyway on the show.
That's true. Yeah, interesting stuff. Hopefully again things will get better, and yeah, let's see what Mappa do.
Yeah, watch this space. Well, we can obviously update if there's any new news there.
So. There we go.